Hey y'all, welcome to the ninth edition of the Birmingham Real Estate Market Update COVID-19 special. We are going through each and every week of this pandemic and looking at the statistics for the Birmingham market, seeing how many sales there are, how many actives, how many pendings, and what's going on in the market, as well as economic stimulus updates, news, and just keeping everybody in the loop as far as what's available from that standpoint. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to go through the weekly numbers. There's a couple interesting things happening that I wanted to point out that I hadn't noticed before. And then there's just a couple updates economically. It's kind of a light week for that, but there should be more coming next week. So my name is Rob Drum. I'm an associate broker at eXp Realty here in Birmingham. I'm also a real estate investor. And I also write a blog at robert.h.drum. I'll put the link in there and my contact information in the description if you want to check that out. But let's get started on the numbers for this week. We have 362 closings in the last week. That compares to last year at 483. And this is right in line with what we've been seeing, pretty much running at about 80% of the closings for last year versus last year. And I think that'll slowly start to creep back up into like normal range, like kind of matching week by week, and then maybe eventually even kind of a catch-up phase where we're doing more closings each week than we were last year. We're kind of, these numbers are live off MLS, and sometimes closings are not reported immediately, so we kind of go back and double check a week after the kind of check date. So last week was revised up over 40 extra closings, so 308 versus 395 for last week. And then also every week we are just taking a snapshot of active listings and contingent properties under contract. And I've kind of been saying, there's not much of a trend here. I don't see much in the data, but when I looked at it this week, I thought, wow, there really is a trend here. And that's what I wanted to get into today. This is kind of a measure of inventory. You have your active listings on the market, and then you have your under contract, somebody's signed up to buy the property that was listed. So that kind of that sales inventory is getting scooped up and getting spoken for. And these are the numbers with like kind of a heat map. And as we go through starting the shutdown and progressing until this week, you can see your active listings started to increase, and your highest numbers are right here in like the third and fourth week of the shutdown. We have the number of listings sitting on the market was kind of up there and was the highest readings. And that just means they were getting listed, they weren't going under contract. So that kind of coincides with the lowest number of properties under contract for the period. And then you see it turn around and start to change, and you get into higher numbers for the period as far as under contract homes, and your number of active listings declines. And then so what we're seeing this week is the lowest number for the period of available listings on the market, which if you are looking for a home right now, you probably know this, that there's low inventory. You can't find the homes that you want. Any home that you like is probably going to have at least a handful of other people that like it and want to make an offer very quickly once it's listed. That's what every agent will tell you. And also anyone who's looking for a home right now will tell you that inventory is low. And what we're seeing here is that it's getting lower. So another way to look at that, just kind of visualize, is that we have the percentage change each week. So you can kind of see just the trend here of these first 2 weeks, we were kind of having more listings coming on the market. That number was growing, and then it kind of trailed off, kind of turned around, and then the number of active listings has been decreasing every week. And so even this was a decrease percentage-wise. It was just a smaller decrease week over week for the week before. And then we have the number of under contracts. So that from the first week to the second week, there was a big drop, and then there was a smaller drop. And then we went positive to, we're having more under contract than the week before, and it's kind of just stayed that way from then until now. And so we're still seeing more and more under contract every week, less and less listings available, and that leads again to this number right here, where we're seeing in the last 9 weeks these most extreme numbers are both happening right now. So that's an interesting trend that has developed, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. And let's talk about a little bit of economic and stimulus update. PPP loans has been a big thing that I've talked about. I've gotten PPP loans. I've helped probably 7 or 8 people get those loans that are self-employed, people that watch this show, or people that are just kind of in my network. My banker did a really good job of getting them done very quickly, and the funds are still available. As far as I know, the pace of the funds expiring is definitely, and getting used, has definitely slowed down. I really wanted to just point out again that self-employed people are eligible. I'm a real estate broker. A lot of my friends are real estate agents, and so they're self-employed. They don't have a payroll, but you are eligible for this. If you're self-employed, if you're a sole proprietor, if you own a business that just doesn't have a payroll or whatever, that's a broad definition of who is eligible for those loans. So definitely take a look at that. It can be a good thing. It's really designed to be forgiven, and they're starting to put out some info on forgiveness of these loans. I took a look at the worksheet that SBA put out, and I didn't get a chance to go through the full thing. It's like 11 pages. So I'm gonna try to ask my banker for a little more clarity, try to get him to explain exactly what we'll need to get those loans forgiven. But I mean, the intent from Congress is that they will be forgiven, and so we're just kind of trusting that. And I think it may not work the way it's supposed to right away, but I think eventually it'll get sorted out, and the majority of those loans are going to be forgiven. So there's another round of stimulus coming out. It's going to be called the HEROES Act. There's a lot up in the air with it. I think there's a pretty good chance of getting a second round of stimulus payments, the $1,200 direct to the people. I think there's a pretty good chance of that. There's a lot of other stuff in there that may or may not get included. Hopefully we'll know by this time next week a little more about what that's going to look like. And then, I thank y'all for watching this. Thank y'all for staying with me through this whole pandemic season. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to put out a video. I may start doing, some more different kind of videos. I had an agent ask me how I started my LLC, and I kind of just, got all the paperwork together and took it to the probate office myself. And it's very cheap to do it that way. I don't know if it's the best way, but I'm going to make a video about how to do that. And it'll probably come out like Monday or Tuesday. So just be on the lookout for that. And thank y'all for watching. Y'all stay safe out there. Have a great week.